Mayor Lawson. Council members Abbott,
Here.
Vanderwell, absent. Anderson,
Here.
Bybee, Dare,
Here.
City Attorney Duncan, City Manager Louthan.
Here.
We have a quorum. Thank you.
Okay, let's start with our invocation speaker, Pastor Barb West, who on June 16th had a very big birthday, 90 years old.
Thank you so much.
I will spare you having us sing you happy birthday. Donald cannot sing.
I'll forgive you this time.
Okay.
Let's pray. In heaven, we are so thankful for today. Thank you for your love. Great. We'll be with them today. We are thankful that we say that the city for all of and all of our EMS work so hard to protect them and watch of our then pray that they'll enjoy the rest of the summer. They them. Once again, we thank you, Mayor Ross. Pray that you over protect and provide for each and every one of them, because we've called out in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Mr. Abbott, will you lead us in the pledge?
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And just programming note for all of our public commenters. We are going to continue 10-3, 10-4, 10-5, and 11-1. So if you want to stick around to comment, you're more than welcome. We will have public comment during that time, but I want to let you know that we're not going to hear that today. We will continue it. Will you turn the volume up for me? Thank you. Yeah, we're going to continue items 10-2, 10-3, 10-4, 10-5, and 11-1. They will not be heard today. Okay. With that, we'll move on to public comment, and we'll start with Gayla Dulett, and then Bruce Foster.
Good afternoon, everybody. I actually wanted to bring my mom here today, but she wasn't feeling well enough to attend. So I'm going to talk about her today and just focus on her. Mom was assaulted, of course, on December 8th, 2022, and on December 7th, 2022, my then 84-year-old mom took a couple of prescriptions, medications, and struggled with the usual arthritis that one might expect for somebody her age. Today, she suffers from countless ailments: cognitive decline, confusion, memory loss, irritability, enormous sadness. My mom cannot even remember most of her pets' names. Chronic stress resulting in a heart attack. She has developed AFib, severe stomach issues, vomiting, chronic pain. She has intense headaches, stabbing pain in her shoulders, arms, and hands, and balance issues that result in stumbling, difficulty picking up her feet, resulting in repeated falls and hospital visits. She takes dozens of prescription medications daily for these ailments. Because of her health issues, my brothers and I all rotate nights during the week so we can drop in and check on her and see how she's doing and make sure she's taking her medications. Your court documents imply that all these things are the result of age, and while Mom will turn 86 years old this weekend, that's simply not true. The afternoon my mom was pushed into the ground head first, it didn't end her life, and she didn't die, but she's now living what we refer to as a dead life. It changed my life, my brothers and I, and all of our families. Call it collateral damage, if you will, but it placed us all on a different trajectory in life with our mom. And it has cut short our life with our mom, whether she lives to be 87 or 97, because as we know her, she's been taken from us. Her age is not an escape from responsibility. In fact, the law states as much. You don't get to use that as a convenient way out, and nobody gets immunity when they lay their hands on people and they hurt them as a result. I have taken some satisfaction in revealing the actions of everyone involved in my mom's assault to everyone in the community and across the country. It has been an abomination of public trust and the treatment of the elderly. The idea that one man created a debacle that obliterated the reputation of an entire fire agency, and that cancer fueled that action, burned into the city's police ranks, well, it's unconscionable. And the majority of those who have been dragged through the mire with Egan are decent people. If it were up to me, I'd ride this train all the way to the end of the line, because in my opinion, that is how we would exact some semblance of justice. But Mom is 86 in a few days. And I love her, and there is nothing I would not do to raise her up. As her daughter, I have two great fears. One is that she will not live to see any closure in this case. And two, she lives long enough, but what she receives does not see her through the end of her life. It is important to note that my mother has made
For me, ma'am, you're 30 seconds over.
considerable concessions in an attempt to bring closure to the matter. But this isn't an HR matter. This isn't a wrongful termination case. It's a case where somebody was hurt, gravely hurt, and it affected her life. And it's time.
Please, you're way over time. Thank you.
Time to wrap this up.
Thank you.
You have the opportunity to do it,
Thank
and
you.
I hope that you will for the people of Sparks, and I hope for my mother. We need leadership in this community.
Thank you.
And leadership
Please,
is
ma'am.
not-
This shouting over the council does not help.
I understand that, sir.
Okay.
I'd like to finish just one moment. My mother
You are over
was
time, ma'am.
assaulted. And I would like to, you have always been rude to me, Mayor.
I've not been
You are
rude.
very transparent, and how you feel is very obvious on your face. And I am trying to be kind here. I have had all kinds of calls from the
Officers,
media
can I have this
today,
lady
and
removed,
I
please?
have refused to take their calls, and I hope that you will, with sincerity, and make a bona fide attempt to resolve this today, for yourself, for the people of Sparks, and for my mother. Treat her as your own. I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay, Bruce Foster, followed by Elise Weatherly. No, she's fine.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce Foster, and longtime Sparks resident, Washoe County, and just want to first welcome everybody to the shopping cart capital of Nevada. Did on my morning ride this morning, counted a little over a dozen shopping carts along the Sparks path, just to let you know. And but today, just wish to bring you to attention, and this is something that I just want to gain public awareness in Washoe County, primarily with the event that we had with a couple of churches and Turning Point Action Faith Coalition at the Washoe County School District. We had Pastor Amachuku and Karen England with Capital Resource Institute. And the goal is to bring awareness of the pornography that is running rampant within the school district. Me being a grandfather of 9, I am really concerned about our future of Sparks, future leaders of Washoe County, that probably in time will be replacing all of you in 20 years. And of course, our goal, again, was being able to shine a light on all the pornography that is in the school district. And this book, Looking for Alaska, is checked out at the regular library system in the teens section. And just for a couple of snippets, what's a teen, 13 to 18? He loves weed like Alaska loves sex, the colonel said. This is a man who once constructed a bong using only the barrel of an air rifle, a ripe pear in an 8x10 glossy photograph of Anna Kournikova. Not the brightest gem in the jewelry shop, but you've got to admire a single-minded dedication to drug abuse. Studies show that, page 52, studies show that marijuana is better for your health than those cigarettes, Hank said. And I could go on, but I don't want to be arrested for reading pornography to the public here, but I wish everyone to be able to take a look at what's in our libraries, knowing that Washoe County School District is 50th in the nation. This book is located at Damani Ranch, Hug High, Incline, McQueen, North Valley, Reed High, Reno High. And we've attempted to contact all the churches in Washoe County. Crickets. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. Elise Weatherly, followed by Elise Monroe? I know I butchered that, I apologize.
Hello, I just wanted to let you guys know what I have learned, because I actually, bring subjects up and then pay attention. Wolves in sheep's clothing do know they're wolves in sheep's clothing. Now, how do I know that? Because of all people, a DEA agent put it to use. This man used to go into meetings, and he was able to identify who the wolves in sheep's clothing were immediately. Now the issue lies, what do you do with that? From a social standpoint, avoidance is great, but when you're working with the wolf in sheep's clothing, then what do you do? And what about Pharisees? The guy that told me about the wolves, we had a conversation about Pharisees. Do Pharisees know they're Pharisees? And the answer is no. We both went, I don't know, but I thought about it. I'm going, the Pharisees will say that you're a Pharisee and I'm in the right. Well, guess what? That's not going to change with logic, all right? Also, I have some songs coming out. Bruce Foster had a good point about pornography. It's not just in the schools. It's in the churches, the so-called churches. So what does the likes of me, Miss Senior Citizen, do? Well, I write a song about it called Four-Fingered Fred. And it's going to get out in the public as to who that was about and what happened. It was very distressful. Also, police. I appreciate the police very much. Do you know why? Because they love the truth. If something is in law, it's the truth, and it has to be, safeguarded. So I'm very grateful for people who love the truth. Firemen, can you imagine if we had firemen who didn't love the truth? Yeah, it's just an ember, we don't have to worry about it. No, the truth is that they have to do certain things, otherwise it's gonna start up. Somebody mentioned wisdom. Did you know that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom? Do you think that's something I wanted to hear? Do you think that's something I wanted to know? Absolutely not. And as far as, oh, goody, you got some time. As far as I'm going, I don't have any help. I have been struggling for years. Where's my help come from? Well, it comes from the Lord, and He's very faithful. I'm kind of like Joe Biden. I feel like I'm the walking dead. It's because, what? I'm tired. I'm really tired, but I'm just going to keep going. So, what I will say about wolves in sheep's clothing and Pharisees, eventually everybody's going to know who they are. They won't be able to run, they'll be able to hide, won't be able to, say, well, it was your fault that I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing. No. There's also knock and the door shall be answered. So knocking on heaven's door, eventually I'm going to be maybe doing that, right? But in the meantime, if you ask for the door to be opened, it will be open. Now, how do I know that? Because I'm a knocker. I never wanted this stuff. Are you kidding me? So I will be putting out songs. Oh, I'm over with my time. Thank you.
Elise, and I know I got this name wrong, I apologize. Okay,
2 Elises in a row. Lucky day for the
it
council.
is a big
We should go
day.
drop $1 in megabucks, I think, today.
And this will be followed by Cliff Nellis.
Okay, hello, council. My name is my mic on?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, no, it needs to be green.
Okay, thank
It
you.
is on.
Hello, council. My name is Elise Monroy. I'm here today on behalf of the Community Food Pantry. We are located at 1135 12th Street, which is located in Ward 1. We run our food distributions on Wednesdays and Saturdays. We also operate a mobile program where we take food to seniors living in weekly motels. In 2023, we fed 75,000 people out of our pantry. We're actually located, we operate out of 2 rooms in St. Paul's Episcopal Church. So we fed 75,000 people last year. We're on track to exceed 85,000 people this year. We operate distribution on Wednesday morning. On Fridays, we have a senior-only distribution, and on Saturdays, we have distribution, and then we take food kind of all over the Reno-Sparks area, but in Sparks, we deliver food on Saturdays to the senior living centers at Lincoln Way and the Bethel facilities. We're a partner with the Food Bank of Northern Nevada, so we're able to leverage the purchasing power of the food bank. Since 2018, the Community Food Pantry has received a grant to support our mobile program and senior distribution, which is able to cover like half of our costs. But we rely on community donations and an annual fundraiser to support our operation. And I'm actually here today to invite the council and the community to our annual fundraiser, which is called Empty Bowls. In the past, Councilman Abbott has attended this event, which is great. We're fortunate this year for the first time, well, maybe not the first time, but in a long time, we're holding this year's Empty Bowls fundraiser in Sparks. The owners of the DeAndrea Golf Course are actually hosting our event. Hot August Nights Foundation is the title sponsor, and they've sponsored our event since the beginning. But it's exciting for us because we're getting to have the event in the community that we serve. But because DeAndrea is hosting, we're able to invest 100% of everything that we raise back into our operation, which is something we need now more than ever. The event is held on September 18th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tickets are $55 and can be purchased through Eventbrite or on our website. I'm not sure what the rules are for leaving collateral. I'll leave information with the clerk and with the PIO, but we would love to see you all. If anybody is listening that needs food assistance, the Community Food Pantry behind the Sparks Library on Wednesday and Saturday. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Elise. Cliff Nellis.
Hello, gentlemen. My first time here to the Sparks City Council. I'm here in regards to what Bruce Foster was talking about. I'm one of the people in the community, actually I do live in Reno, to be honest, but I believe that the children of our community, they're all of our children together, and we have a responsibility to them to protect their innocence, their purity, their goodness, you know. I believe that children were born innocent. As a matter of fact, I'm a Christian, and Jesus said, you must become like little children to enter the kingdom of heaven. And there's a small minority of our population that feels left out unless they can have their books in our libraries and stuff. We've been to the libraries and said, hey, can you move these things out of the children's section? You know, that's all we're asking. And they say, no. And then I did some research and I found out the director of the libraries was a guy named Jeff Scott that got kicked out of Berkeley 9 years ago because he was so radical. And MoveOn.org was the one that organizes his removal because he was basically eliminating books and controlling the librarians. And he's been here for 9 years. He controls our libraries. He has all the LGBT people. Everyone is staffed with his people. And it doesn't really represent the community. We're arguing before them. We've gone to the school boards. Because, see, what people don't realize, the county library is a conduit for the school libraries. So what's in the school libraries comes from the county library, too. And we're just asking, hey, let's have some common sense. Let's not put these things out for children. I know they're out in the world and TikTok and everything else, but they shouldn't be in our libraries. And so you're probably thinking, wow, why are you coming to me? This is just Spark City Council. Well, the reason why is I was going to go to the police chief and say, hey, we have obscenity in our libraries. Can you go in there and remove those books for us? And I think that would be under the purview of the Sparks Police, because it's your children, right? But then I know what the police chief would say. He'd say, well, I got to talk to the Sparks City Council and get authority to do that. So that's why I'm here. Maybe you guys can agendize that for the next meeting. Maybe even just look at some of the books. We got 14, we got a great group of people that read the books and found out where the obscenity was, because it's a 250-page book and you can't find it, except when you find it, you know you found it. And it's almost horrifying, to be honest with you. So we can provide those books, and then you can pick which ones you want to remove from the libraries to protect the children, and you can tell the police chief, hey, why don't you go in and just take those books out of our Sparks libraries and schools, too, school libraries. Thank you.
Thank you, Cliff. All right, anyone else in the public wishing to speak at this time? Yes, come on up, ma'am. I have you for 11.1.
Oh, you want to wait till later?
Well, you can do your comment now if you'd like. So you don't have to wait around. We are going to continue that item.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dorothy White. I'm a resident of Galleria by Desert Wind, which is a community at the corner of Los Altos and Galleria Parkway. All of the city council members in the past few weeks have received letters from the residents, the homeowners, as well as a petition regarding the, proposed construction of a very large mini storage facility behind our homes. The storage facility is scheduled to be built, or is intended to be built, within 50 feet of our backyard fences. We are here, not just myself, but there are several members from our community that are here that we want you to know loud and clear that we have no objection to the city building on the lot behind us. It's been 8 years. It'll be wonderful to have the dirt lot removed. However, the building, the size and the scope that is intended for that particular parcel is far too large. It is similar to the one that is being finished on Vista, and it will obscure, it will intimidate us, and the City Planning Commission has forwarded to you for decision a request to change the city handbook from 26 feet to roughly 36 feet or more, and to rezone the property. Every single one of us is totally against doing so because of the impact it will have on our community. We have no objection to you building back there. We don't really care what you want to build. You want to build a mini storage facility? Do it. Just not something of that size that's intimidating and does not fit in the neighborhood. Basically, it's a building of a size that belongs in a lot of its own or should be in an industrial park. Now, having said that, we have reached out to the builder, the developer, and he has agreed to meet with us this afternoon so he can present to our residents what he intends to do with the lot. We're hopeful it'll be a positive meeting, and hopefully we can reach some sort of compromise, but we very, very, very much ask you to not violate the current handbook standards and to keep our community as pristine as it is right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Come on.
Alan Munson, a resident of Sparks, and I hadn't planned at all to get up and speak. And
Now, I'm just going to ask you to fill out a card for me when you're done
Sure.
speaking, so that we have it. For the
okay,
record.
but I have been very involved also with being concerned with the books that are in our libraries and being exposed to younger kids, teenagers, and when we've tried to read them, and they are so licentious. I mean, if I just got naked here, I mean, it is bad. And so I don't know what you guys can do, but if you become aware of what is going on and being given to our younger kids, third grade, and maybe you can do something, Cliff mentioned something, I don't know, but I do know that it's not okay for our younger kids to be exposed to these kinds of books. And if you haven't been aware, today you're beginning to be aware of what it is. And these younger kids grow up, they're going to be citizens, and I just don't like what it could lead to. And I thank you for the opportunity, and I just hoping that people will become aware, because most people aren't aware of what's going on. So I thank you, and I thank you for what you do, your service. So anyways, that's all I got to say.
Okay, anyone else in the public wishing to speak at this time? Are you Keith Rand?
Yes.
Okay, Keith, if you want to speak now, we'll save you about an hour's worth of your time. Go ahead. Does that mean that Deborah Mann, would you like to speak too?
After him?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
My name is Keith Rand. I live in the neighborhood that is immediately behind the parcels, subject to the proposed amendment to the Spanish Springs Town Center Development Standards Handbook. The proposed amendment is inappropriate, self-serving, even reckless. I'm aware the applicant has made a considerable investment and that the climate-controlled storage facilities are profitable and meet market demand. I'm also aware such a facility could positively affect city revenue. But if this facility looks like a storage warehouse, acts like a storage warehouse, and sounds like a storage warehouse, well, after waiting all this time for completion since the inception of the Galleria mixed-use area, a storage warehouse being one of the capping build-outs put next to homes no less would be like erecting a 3-story parking structure where we expected there to be an anchor like a gym, specialty store, bakery, deli, or restaurant. Spanish Springs and the Pyramid Highway corridor are loaded with more appropriate locations for a climate-controlled storage facility. I understand we're stuck with what we knew when we moved in after 2016, but there is no reason to let this go any further. These proposed changes have no time limit and just encourage landowners to wait for and drum up a better land sale through further requests for profit-bearing exceptions. They're self-serving instead of respectful of the development standards that informed every investor, owner, business, and resident that has entered into commitments affected by the Spanish Springs Town Center Handbook. This amendment is reckless. It affects 3 parcels, not just the one being used by the applicant that backs up to 5 homes. It altogether eliminates the requirement of a resident manager. If a conventional mini-storage facility is built on the parcel neighboring the applicant's, not only will it back up to 11 homes, but the handbook will no longer have a stated requirement for a manager and residents. Our only guarantee as stakeholders is the handbook. It must not be changed without special regard to the people it has informed and affected. Don't approve the amendment, don't entertain it, don't table it. Just stick with the program and reject it.
Thank you. Deborah Mann?
My name is Deborah Mann. Thank you for letting me speak. I have a very, I have a bit of a show and tell on the back of what Keith was saying. And I would like you to realize that Papaya Drive, there are 27 homes, all single story, with 6-foot fences. So, Kleenex boxes, yes. I'm not a contractor, I'm not a designer, I'm simply a homeowner that knows what has been proposed is absolutely wrong. So one house, and what is written in the handbook is a single-story storage unit. Put it behind that house. Not a problem, not a problem. You put a two-story storage unit behind that house. You put a three-story unit behind that house. Not only will it affect this house and the houses that sit across the street, everybody coming down Galleria, everybody from Los Altos, you will see. It's not that it's a bad project, it's that it's a bad location. It's that simple. That simple, as far as myself and my neighbors are concerned. We're not against something being built, but we are against being, I mean, you can just tell what it's gonna do. You turn down our street and it's like you're gonna drive down, you're gonna drive into somewhere else with all this towering. And imagine this, 27 houses, this is all gonna go behind. 27. Yep. And on that, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, anyone else in the public wishing to speak at this time? All right, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the dais, and let's move on for an approval of the agenda. My computer is not working. I can't see any voting.
Paul and then me, if you want to.
You want me to go ahead and?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Anderson, I'll look at yours.
I move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Mr. Dare,
Second.
got a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor, the only question I have is, do we need to officially table those things on this? Or is,
No, we have to hold a public hearing
okay,
first.
thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none? Yeah, we'll get to her in a second. Please vote. Charlene, you have to vote audibly. Charlene?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously with Ms. Vanderwell absent. I just press the button here then, Madam Clerk? It's not letting me in. All right. Minutes. Looking for an approval of the minutes. Mr. Abbott,
I move to approve the minutes of the special Sparks City Council meeting for June 21st, 2024, and Sparks City Council meeting for June 24th, 2024.
Mr. Anderson.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Charlene? Thank you. Motion carries 4-0, excuse me. Okay. Get the minutes. Move over to announcements, presentation, recognition items of special interest, boards and commissions, vacancy announcement, the Enterprise Fund Advisory Committee. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor Lawson. Members of the council, Deanne Latham, your city manager. There is one vacancy on the Sparks Enterprise Fund Advisory Committee for a commercial construction representative. This position is for a 4-year term ending July 1st, 2028. Applications will be accepted until 5 p.m. on August 9th, 2024. Persons interested in serving on these committees should complete a community service application online at the city's website, www.cityofsparks.us/getinvolved. Simply complete the volunteer application form and hit submit. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to consent items. Anyone wishing to pull a consent item? If not, I'm looking for an approval. Mr. Dare.
I move to approve consent items 8.1 through 8.2 as submitted.
Mr. Abbott.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Ms. Bybee?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. General business, 9.1. Consideration, discussion, and possible acceptance of an AARP Community Challenge Grant for $11,900 to fund emergency preparedness go bags, providing seniors with essential items during an emergency with no matching requirements. Ms. Dool.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and council members. My name is Julie Dool, for the record, your Community Relations Manager. I have with me our Division Chief of Emergency Management, Scott Means. I have Hannah Hubiar from Project Bear Hugs. We have Mel Evans, our Grant Administrator, and our Parks and Recreation Director, Nancy O'Connor. We're here today just seeking your approval to accept an $11,900 AARP Community Grant to fund emergency preparedness go bags, providing seniors in our community with essential items during an emergency. At the February 26, 2024 Sparks City Council meeting, Council approved staff to apply for this grant. The AARP Community Challenge Grant Program is part of a nationwide AARP Livable Communities initiative to help communities become great places to live and make immediate improvements to jumpstart improvements for seniors in our community and all residents of all ages. And we're excited that the City of Sparks has been awarded this grant. And today I'm seeking your approval for these grant funds. There's no matching fund requirement, and the duration of the project will not exceed calendar year 2024. Should you approve accepting this AARP grant, Community Challenge Grant, the City of Sparks and its partners, all of us, will be able to provide these critical go bags to approximately 400 seniors in our community. We plan to distribute the majority of these go bags through Meals on Wheels, that program. We had initially thought about distributing the rest of them during the Sparks Fire Pancake Breakfast, but have since decided that we'd like to put the remainder on apparatus so they can give them out to seniors as needed in our community when they're on calls. The go bags will have such items as hygiene items, flashlights, batteries, solar chargers, solar radios, and many of these will have AARP identified as the sponsor. Staff will engage the Sparks Fire Department and members of the Sparks Senior Citizens Advisory Committee and other community partners, including Project Bear Hugs, to assist in assembling the go bags during the Emergency Preparedness Month in September. That tentative date is scheduled for September 24th. And during that time and other times, we will provide a lot of education to seniors as well about the importance of go bags. We have things such as flip books with important emergency management procedures and such that will be given out to seniors as well, and also during presentations at some of our senior centers. We'll also include the media, invite the media, and we'll do a lot of social media outreach. And we would like to have Mayor Lawson acknowledge AARP by proclaiming AARP Day during our August 26th meeting, if possible. I'd love to thank Mel Evans for all of her help in applying for this grant, and staff recommends with that approval for the AARP Community Grant, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions from the council? Mr. Dare.
Is there anything we can do to get involved, or is this something we get to watch and just cheer on? We obviously care for our seniors greatly and want to help, and so do we just cheer this on and say, good job, or?
Thank you for asking that. We would love your help actually putting together the go bags during that Emergency Preparedness Month in September. So we'll be providing more information to Mayor and Council about that.
So you're just
and then
setting me
helping
up.
us, yes. Do you like that? And then also helping us get the information out would be great on your social media and such.
Mr. Abbott.
I want to say congratulations. It's been the first time I think we've ever got the AARP Community Grant. So we've, I think, applied 4 or 5 times. So good job, Mel and Hannah and Julie and Scott and everybody for making it work. So thank you.
I'd also like to mention that on your calendars, I think this Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, there is a a celebration event because there were others in our community that were also awarded this grant for other projects. And so I think that's on your calendar. We'd love to see you out there.
Okay. All right, any other questions from the council? Ms. Bybee, do you have anything?
I do not. Thank you all for the amazing work. Good job, and I agree. Being able to do something extra for our seniors is super important. So thank you all.
Okay. All right, with that then, I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Abbott.
I move to accept the AARP Community Challenge Grant for $11,900 to fund emergency preparedness go bags, providing seniors with essential items during an emergency with no matching requirement.
Mr. Anderson.
Second the motion?
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please vote. Ms. Bybee gets to say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, 9.2, consideration, discussion, of possible ratification of a grant application for a U.S. Department of Justice Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services promoting access to crisis teams, or a PACT grant for the federal fiscal year 2024 in the amount of $478,622 to hire a supervisor for the Mobile Outreach Safety Team, or the MOST team.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. For the record, I'm Ben Russell, one of your police lieutenants. Before you today is the approval to ratify the grant application for the COPS PACT grant for federal fiscal year 2024 in the amount of $478,622. The COPS PACT grant would fund a supervisor for the Mobile Outreach Safety Team, which is commonly known as MOST. If awarded, the grant will fund the salary and benefits for 2 years, as well as office furniture, a computer, licensing fees, and continuing education courses. By hiring a dedicated mental health counselor supervisor, the Sparks Police Department hopes to improve the response to mental health crisis. The supervisor will bring a wealth of experience and expertise to the team, ensuring that the interventions are carried out effectively and with the sensitivity to the unique needs of the people facing mental health crisis. The grant will support the professional development of the department's mental health personnel by funding training, continuing education, and state license renewals. This investment in ongoing education demonstrates the Sparks Police Department's commitment to providing a high standard of care and staying current on the latest developments in the field of mental health interventions. There would be no impact to the general fund for fiscal years 2025 and 2026. This position would need to be funded by the general fund in fiscal year 2027 and moving on. The staff recommends acceptance, and I'm available for any questions.
All right, questions from the council? Mr. Anderson.
Don't have a question for you. I just want to say thank you for pursuing this grant. I appreciate the work that you all are doing. And then to see the MOST team and the success that they're having out there in the field, not only helping the public and those that could be going through a mental health crisis, but also come along our side, our first responders as well, and being there for them. And I just want to say how exciting this is to see these kind of projects come forward and the difference that we're able to make in the community. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome, and we appreciate it, and it does show a difference.
Mr. Dare.
I want to just say to our community that this is a big focus around the whole region, actually in our whole country right now, of trying to help make sure that we have some of these things in place. So great find and good job. I do want to, are these guys going to work with the Hope Team a little bit as well? Is that part of it, or is it more other things?
They do, to an extent, yeah. They'll work with our Hope Team as well. They work in conjunction as well with our other agencies in the valley. All the teams kind of work together and trying to get all on the same page where we can see the same information and everything. And they are a double unit, basically. We do a dual response where our clinicians ride along with a police officer on every shift.
That's very good. And I know that as a county goes, there's actually a lot of effort as well. So I'm sure they'll be working with them on this particular piece. So thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Ms. Bybee, do you have anything?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the amount, it's for 2 years, and you said it would affect the general fund 27 and moving forward. Is there a possibility of getting further grants? And we don't know what that, would it be the 478 for another 2 years, or is that too early to tell? I'm just looking forward for budget and possibilities of further grants.
Yeah, as of right now, I can't tell you if we'd be able to secure any other grants, but for right now with this grant, it'll get us through 2024, or I'm sorry, 25 and 26. At year 2027, as of right now, we'd have to go through general fund.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Not, I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Anderson.
I move to ratify the grant application for U.S. Department of Justice Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services, promoting access to crisis teams, or the PACT system. Grant for federal fiscal year 2024 in the amount of $478,622 to hire a supervisor for the Mobile Outreach Safety Team, or as we love to call it, MOST.
Okay, Mr. Dare.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Bybee. Motion carries unanimously. I think you're going to stay with us here, aren't you, sir?
No, sir.
No?
Not that I'm aware of,
Okay.
if you want me to.
9.3, consideration, discussion, oh, the chief's
That's the
coming up.
DC's coming, ours.
No, you get the big boss.
Oh, thank you.
9.3, consideration, discussion, and possible ratification of a grant application for the U.S. Department of Justice Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services Hiring Program grant for the federal fiscal year 24 in the amount of $500,000, with the city matching approximately $1,400,000 over 4 years. Chief.
Good afternoon, Mayor Lawson, members of council. For the record, I am Deputy Chief of Police Tara Edmondson. Before you today is the request to ratify the grant application for the U.S. Department of Justice COPS hiring program, the grant for federal fiscal year 2025 in the amount of $500,000, with city matching approximately 1.4 over the next 4 years. The application has requested funding for 4 full-time positions that would form a new misdemeanor follow-up team. Funding from the COPS office is currently limited to $500,000 for the 3-year period of the grant, and the 4th year for each position must be fully funded by the agency. The misdemeanor follow-up team would be headed by 1 sergeant, which would require a complement change of an existing police officer position, as well as 3 other officers. The primary objective is to enhance response times to online crime reports and prioritize the investigations of misdemeanors. In 2022, there were 4,808 misdemeanor cases reported, and it has since increased in 2023 to 5,145. These cases encompass offenses like retail theft, harassment, stalking, trespassing, property destruction, disturbing the peace, and other quality of life crimes. The department's strategy involves intensified prosecution efforts in collaboration with the city attorney's office, partnership with the Nevada Organized Retail Crime Association, and development of community outreach programs targeting underserved communities. Staff recommends acceptance, and I'm available for questions.
All right, questions from the council? Nothing?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the question I have is, so we're talking about having 4 on this. So are we bringing on brand new people with these? Are these 4 brand new people? So it's an addition to what we do?
Correct. So this is an additional 4 brand new police officers that would come in at the base level. So be it lateral move or a recruit status to go to the academy. That makes the money go a little bit farther. And so what happens in these grants typically is that the lion's share of funding usually happens in year 1 on the federal funding side and then tapers off each year. And so each subsequent year, the city is essentially taking on more funding year after year until we're fully funding the positions themselves.
The main thing I do want our community to see when they see numbers like this, we want to just help explain, we're going to be hiring cops I mean, our police, we're going to keep hiring and hiring because we need to continue to do that. So this actually gives us the ability to hire with help, is how I look at this. And so
Absolutely.
I want to say that, like I said, anybody out there listening, seeing numbers, this allows us a pretty good price point in as we hire. And so thank you for bringing this forward.
Absolutely.
Okay, anyone else? Not, I am looking for a motion.
Mayor Lawson?
Sorry, Ms. Bybee.
That's okay. Not a question, kind of more of a comment that I really appreciate the importance that we are putting on misdemeanors. And I know recently we've really stepped up our retail theft. Retail theft has stepped up, and then we've enhanced our response to that, which I think is super important to our community, to our businesses. But I think by really focusing more efforts on misdemeanor crime, hopefully we'll cut down on more serious crime and make our community a safer place. So I think our focus there is going to be well spent money, and I appreciate the police department's efforts now, and then increasing that just makes sense to me. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bybee. Any other questions? All right, I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Dare.
I move to ratify the U.S. Department of Justice Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services Hiring Program grant for federal fiscal year 2024 in the amount of $500,000 with city matching of approximately $1,400,000 for over the 4 years. Thank you.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes, sir. I second the motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. 9.4, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of a regional hazmat agreement, AC 6056, between the City of Sparks, City of Reno, and Truckee Meadows Fire Rescue to fund a regional hazmat coordinator with the City of Sparks share not to exceed the cost of the City of Sparks Fire Division Chief estimated to be $162,085 based on the collective bargaining agreement currently in place. Chief.
Mayor Lawson, members of council, for the record, Walt White, Fire Chief, City of Sparks. This represents a cost share agreement for a full-time hazmat coordinator. Hazmat mitigation is a highly technical job with perishable skills. This all stems from a 2014 assessment and strategic plan for our regional triad team that indicated that this was a critical or key position given some gaps or deficiencies noted at the time. This position, which will be a cost share between Sparks, Reno, and Truckee Meadows Fire and Rescue, will fund the position to do routine recruitment and training, as well as cutting-edge training for our hazardous materials team. And given the volume of hazardous materials, whether by rail or highway or fixed facility, staff recommends the approval of this position.
Okay, thank you. Questions from the council? Seeing none. Ms. Bybee, do you have anything?
No, I don't. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, then I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Abbott.
I move to approve the regional hazmat agreement AC-6056 between the City of Sparks, City of Reno, and Truckee Meadows Fire and Rescue to fund a regional hazmat coordinator with the City of Sparks' share not to exceed the cost of a City of Sparks Fire Division Chief estimated to be $162,085 based on the collective bargaining agreement currently in place.
Mr. Dare.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I just want to also acknowledge my regional partners, Chief Cochran and Chief Moore, as well as both of their governing boards that have already approved this agreement. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, 9.5, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of an opioid-related litigation settlement, AC 6058, pursuant to the One Nevada Agreement on Allocation of Opioid Recoveries, or One Nevada Agreement, for the participation in the settlement with Kroger, with the city of Sparks anticipated share being is that right? $6,225.01. 4668.76 after attorney fees annually for 11 years. Brendan,
That is correct, Mr. Mayor.
I
Member of
thought
the
I was
council.
missing a comma somewhere.
No, this is one of the smaller ones. As you know, we've retained Eglett Adams for opioid-related litigation. They've been in litigation for about 5 years now with a list of different entities related to the manufacturing, distributing, and retailing of opioids. I took a look back this morning. I think this is the 8th settlement that the council has considered. I do believe this is one of the smaller ones, but this would be with Kroger. The city's share would be just under $5,000 after attorney fees annually for 11 years. This, outside counsel is recommending approval and for city manager's office, authority for the city manager's office to sign the necessary forms.
Okay. Questions from the council? Mr. Dare.
How many more of these little ones are we gonna get? I mean, there's a lot more out there, or is big ones out there, or is there?
I don't know yeah, there's, my guess would be over a dozen more
Okay.
defending entities, whether they all settle or go to trial. I would have to ask outside counsel on that.
That's good, that's good enough. Just wonder if we, let's keep this the smallest one, but that's cool. Thank you.
Hey, anyone else? All right, I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Dare.
Sure. I move to approve the proposed opioid-related litigation settlement, AC 6058, pursuant to the One Nevada Agreement on Allocation of Opioid Recoveries, One Nevada Agreement, for participation in a settlement with Kroger, with the City of Sparks anticipated share being $6,225.01, which is $4,668.76 after attorney fees annually for 11 years, and authorize the city manager to execute the settlement participation form.
Mr. Abbott.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Brendan. 9.6, consideration, discussion, and possible approval or rejection of an offer to settle litigation in the amount of $1,200,000 related to the claims asserted by Maureen Vegholm against the City of Sparks and Timothy Egan, or a possible counteroffer. Brendan.
You're not done with me yet, Mr. Mayor.
It's okay.
Members of council, as you know, we've been in active litigation with Ms. Vegholm for a little over a year. There was a $2 million settlement offer that was countered at $500,000. In response, after our office communicated that offer, there's been a second counteroffer from Ms. Vegholm for $1.2 million that is being presented to you here. I believe everybody has been briefed. This is the opportunity to accept, reject, or counter. And I'm available for any questions.
Questions from the council? Ms. Bybee, do you have anything?
I do not, thank you, Mayor.
Okay, then I'm looking for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, we'd be happy to put a motion up. Whoever would like to make the motion, let us know whether you're accepting or rejecting your counter.
Okay. So who wants to make a motion? Anybody? Mr. Abbott?
Be to reject.
Okay. You want to read that?
Yes, sir. I move to reject the settlement offer negotiated between the parties in the amount of $1,200,000 related to asserted claims by Maureen Helvigum against the City of Sparks Fire Department employee Timothy Egan.
Okay, Mr. Anderson.
I'll second the motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Mayor, I could not hear Councilman Abbott's motion. Can he repeat it?
I move to reject the settlement. Do you want me to read the whole thing out, Councilwoman?
Can you hear us, Charlene?
Okay.
We're good? So I need a vote from you, Charlene.
Do you have a motion and a second to reject the offer?
Correct.
I vote aye.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. All right, public hearing, 10.1. Hearing discussion and consideration of possible approval of request from Audi District LLC to abandon 19,092 square feet of the Mall Drive public right-of-way and 2,146 square feet of the Orovada Street public right-of-way to the parcel located at 2450 Audi Boulevard, Sparks, Nevada.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of council. Amber Sosa, Transportation Manager for the record. As introduced, this item before you is a request to abandon a portion of the Mall Drive public right-of-way and a portion of the Arvada Street public right-of-way. Should council approve this request, the abandoned areas will be added to the adjacent parcel located at 2450 Audi Boulevard, owned by the Audi District LLC. So the two portions for your consideration, the first is along Greenbrae Drive and Orvada Street. You see it located in red right here. This is approximately 2,146 square feet of currently publicly owned right-of-way. And the second portion is along Mall Drive. You see that we're just north of Audi Boulevard, and this represents 19,092 approximate square foot of public right-of-way. The legal description attached to the order for the requested abandonments has been reviewed by staff and found acceptable. Staff has followed the abandonment procedures outlined in NRS 278.48. Reservation for the easements are included where applicable for these parcels. It includes drainage, utilities, and the ability to operate and maintain the traffic signal and its infrastructure currently at Audi and Mall Drive. Property owners abutting the proposed abandonments were notified via certified mail. Notifications of this public hearing was published in the Reno Gazette-Journal, and staff finds that the public will not be materially injured by the proposed abandonments and recommends approval. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions, and if I may, I'd like to remind you that this is a public hearing.
Questions from the council? Ms. Bybee, you have any questions?
I do not, thank you, Mayor.
Okay, then I'm looking for a motion. I still forgot it, right? Got it in my hand and everything. This is a public hearing. Anyone in the public wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the dais. Now, I'm looking for a motion. I have some kind of brain aneurysm when it comes to that. Mr. Anderson.
I move to approve the request from Audi District LLC to abandon 19,092 square feet of the Mall Drive public right-of-way and 2,146 square feet of the Orvada Street public right-of-way to the parcel located at 2450 Audi Boulevard, Sparks, Nevada.
Mr. Rabbit.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. All right. 10.2, public hearing. Consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the City of Sparks Language Access Plan for FY 25 and 26.
Good afternoon, Mayor Lawson and City Council members. For the record, I'm Allison McCormick, your Assistant City Manager. I am seeking your approval of a language access plan for fiscal years 25 and 26. In 2023, the Nevada legislature passed Assembly Bill 266, or AB 266, which requires the city to adopt a language access plan and submit it to the Governor's Office of New Americans in every even-numbered year. City staff coordinated with counterparts from around the state to develop the plan that's before you today. The goal of a language access plan is to make sure that folks who speak a language other than English, whether that's Spanish or American Sign Language or something else, are able to access city programs and services equitably. The proposed plan outlines current city initiatives, so what we're doing well to improve language access. That includes using AI on our website to translate our website into over 80 languages other than English, and paying bilingual pay for employees who qualify. The plan also outlines next steps that the city will work on in fiscal years 25 and 26, such as a policy to identify vital documents that should be available in languages other than English. The plan concludes by identifying challenges in improving language access at the city, namely limited financial and staff resources. AB 266 also requires a public input process regarding the plan, which staff chose to do through public hearing processes. The Equity and Inclusion Advisory Board held a public hearing on the draft language access plan on July 9th and did receive public comment in support of the plan and the importance of language access in the community. This agenda item is also designated as a public hearing to solicit additional public input. I would particularly like to shout out our city clerk, Lisa Hunderman, client relations specialist, Roxana Portillo, for their input on the plan, and then our communications coordinator, Whitney Milligan, for making it look nice, which is not a skill set that I have. Staff does recommend approval of the language access plan, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Dare.
Do we know how many languages are our main Sparks?
Primarily English and Spanish. Okay. I don't know the numbers off of the top of my head, but roughly 25 to 30% of our population speak a language other than English at home, and the vast majority of those are Spanish speaking.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, I'm looking for a motion then.
Public hearing, please, sir.
Public hearing. Or I could do a public hearing. Anyone in the public wishing to speak? See, there's something, a mental block.
They can speak in whatever language they want.
Any language, yes. All right, we'll bring it back to the dais. Now I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Dare.
I move to approve the City of Sparks Language Access Plan for FY25 and FY26 as presented.
Mr. Abbott.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Martini, he's going to present item 10.3, 10.4, and 10.5 all as one, and then we'll come back and do a hearing and a vote on each one separately.
Well, you just stole half my staff report.
There you go. Well, I'm speeding you up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On your agenda today, as the mayor said, are 3 bills related to ordinances that would finalize the Five Ridges Special Improvement District. As the mayor said, I'll be covering, staff has a recommendation, you'll hear it here in a minute, of continuance of these items for all 3. So I'll cover it all, but if questions come up on the assessment ordinance or the bond ordinance, Jeff Cronk is here to answer them. So for background, the council will recall back in March, Resolution 3438 was approved, which approved a development financing agreement between the city and Five Ridges Development Company. For Articles 2.1 and 2.2 of the development financing agreement, the city and the developer agreed that the city may proceed to do 3 things. Create the special improvement district and order the project to be acquired. That is Bill 2821, called the Creation Ordinance. It's on your agenda today. Levy assessments against each of the properties in the district. That is Bill 2822, also known as the Assessment Ordinance. And finally, to finance the cost of the project and the improvements through the issuance of bonds. That is Bill 2823, also known as the Bond Ordinance. On June 24th, the City Council heard the first readings of those ordinances, and today was set for the public hearing. After the first readings were completed, Five Ridges Development Company informed staff that there are some problems acquiring right-of-way along Highland Ranch Parkway, which, as the council will recall, that is project number 3 of the development financing agreement. Upon meeting with the developer and working through the issues, staff conferred with bond counsel, and we were informed that until the right-of-way issues have been resolved, the bonds intended to finance the various improvements cannot be sold at this time. Working through this, Five Ridges Development Company has requested that consideration of all 3 bills for the 3 ordinances be continued to the regular city council meeting of September 9th, to allow the Five Ridges Development Company to continue to work to cure the impediments to getting the right-of-way. Staff recommends the council continue consideration of all three ordinances to the regularly scheduled hearing on September 9th. In the event that the city council chooses to take substantive action on the ordinances today, staff recommends denial of all three ordinances or bills, given the current impediments regarding the right-of-way needed for Highland Ranch Parkway. You have three alternatives along with your consideration. The first is, of course, to continue all three of these bills to the September 9th. Second alternative is you may deny bills 2821, 2822, and 2823. Or the council could move to approve bills 2821, 2822, and 2823. But this action would be against the recommendation of both staff and bond counsel. And if even approved, there is no way today to sell the bonds moving forward. Mr. Mayor, I'll remind you that each agenda item requires its own public hearing, gavel up, and the council must take separate action on each bill. So bill by bill, please. That concludes my presentation. I'm available if you have any questions.
Okay, questions real quick? All right, if not, Madam Clerk, will you read in 10.3?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the second reading, public hearing, discussion, and possible adoption of Bill Number 2821, an ordinance creating the City of Sparks, Nevada Special Improvement District Number 1, Five Ridges, ordering a street project, storm sewer project, sanitary sewer project, drainage project, and water project within the City of Sparks, Nevada, and providing other matters related thereto.
Okay, questions from the council? Not, I am public hearing. Thank you. I remembered.
Good afternoon, council. Blake Smith with Five Ridges Development Company. Again, I think John outlined our situation clearly here. It's something that we have been working diligently over the past couple of years on. We're trying to accelerate and resolve the issues that we have in front of us. So I would request if we could continue this and let's try and resolve the issues over the next 5 to 6 weeks here. Thank you.
Anyone else in the public wishing to comment? Okay, we'll bring it back to the dais, and I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Dare.
Yes, I move to continue the second reading of Bill Number 2821, an ordinance creating the City of Sparks, Nevada Special Improvement District Number 1, Five Ridges, ordering a street project, storm sewer project, sanitary sewer project, drainage project, and water project within the City of Sparks, Nevada, and providing other matters related thereto to the regular meeting of the Sparks City Council on September 9th, 2024.
Okay. Mr. Anderson.
Second the motion.
Got me thinking about public hearings. So I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Madam Clerk, 10.4.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is second reading, public hearing, discussion, and possible adoption of Bill Number 2822, an ordinance concerning the City of Sparks, Nevada Special Improvement District Number 1, Five Ridges, assessing the cost of local improvements against the assessable property benefited by the local improvements and providing other matters related thereto.
Okay. Questions from the council, real quick? Not, this is a public hearing. Anyone in the public wishing to speak at this time on this item? Not, we'll bring it back to the dais, and I am looking for a motion. Mr. Dare.
I move to continue the second reading of Bill Number 2822, an ordinance concerning the City of Sparks, Nevada Special Improvement District Number 1, Five Ridges, assessing the cost of local improvements against the assessment property benefited by the local improvements and providing other matters related thereto to the regular meeting of the Sparks City Council on September 9th, 2024.
Mr. Rabbit.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Madam Clerk, 10.5.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is second reading, public hearing, discussion, and possible adoption of Bill Number 2823, an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale by the City of Sparks, by the city of its Special Improvement District Number 1, Five Ridges, Local Improvement Bonds, Series 2024, in the maximum aggregate principal amount of $11,845,000, approving the form of certain documents with respect to such bonds, ratifying action taken by city officers toward the issuance of such bonds, and providing other matters related thereto.
Okay. Any questions from the council? Not. This is a public hearing. Anyone in the public wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the dais, and I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Dare.
I move to continue the second reading of Bill number 2823, an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale by the city of its Special Improvement District Number 1, Five Ridges, Local Improvement Bond Series 2024, and the maximum aggregate principal amount of $11,845,000, approving the form of certain documents with respect to such bonds, ratifying action taken by city officers toward the issuance of such bonds, and providing other matters related thereto to the regular meeting of the Sparks City Council on September 9th, 2024.
Mr. Anderson.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
11.1, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is second reading, public hearing, discussion, and possible adoption of Bill number 2824 to amend the Spanish Springs Town Center Plan Development, Spanish Springs Town Center Development Plan Design Standards and Regulations Handbook to, 1, eliminate the requirement for mini warehouse facilities to incorporate a manager residence, 2, increase maximum height of mini warehouse uses from 26 feet to 35 feet when located at least 50 feet from the property line, 3, require approval of a conditional use permit for mini warehouse uses over 26 feet in height, and 4, add development standards for climate-controlled mini warehouse facilities on an approximately 8.9 acre site generally located east of Galleria Parkway and south of Los Altos Parkway, APN 510-491-15 through 17 in the NUD New Urban District, Spanish Springs Town Center zoning district.
Thank
you, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Ray.
Good afternoon, Mayor Lawson, members of the City Council. I'm Danny Ray, Senior Planner. The City Council may recall that at its June 24th meeting, the first reading of Bill 2824 was read into the record, and a date of July 22nd, which is today, was set for the public hearing. This bill amends the Spanish Springs Town Center Plan Development Handbook to modify regulations related to allowed mini warehouse uses and establish the climate-controlled mini warehouse use and associated development standards. However, since that first reading, the applicant has requested this item be continued to the September 23rd City Council meeting so that he has the opportunity to meet with the residential neighbors to the south to discuss the proposed changes to the handbook. So this concludes my presentation. I'm available to answer any questions, as is the applicant and his representative. And I'd like to remind the council this is a public hearing.
Any questions from the council? All right, this is a public hearing. Anyone in the public wishing to speak on this item?
Yes.
All right. Come on up.
When I spoke last time, I'm sorry, this one?
Good, make it green.
Yes. My name is Deborah Mann. What more can I say? If we, as home buyers, doing our due diligence before we purchase a home in an area, if we can't go by what it states in the handbook, then what good's the handbook? What's it for? I would love to have that question answered. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else in the public wishing to speak at this time? All right, now I'm going to bring it back to the dais, and I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Dare.
I move to continue the second reading of Bill number 2824 to amend the Spanish Springs Town Center Plan Development, Spanish Springs Town Center Development Plan Design, You moved it on me here. Plan Design Standards and Regulations Handbook to 1, eliminate the requirements for mini warehouse facilities to incorporate and manage a residence. 2, increase maximum height of mini warehouse to uses from 26 feet to 35 feet when located at least 50 feet from the property line. 3, require approval of a conditional use permit for mini warehouse use over 26 feet and high. 4, add development standards for climate-controlled mini warehouse facilities on an approximately 8.9 acre site generally located east of Galleria Parkway and south of Los Altos Parkway, APN 510-491-15 through 17, in the NUD New Urban District Spanish Springs Town Center zoning district to the regular city council meeting on September 23rd, 2024. Thank you.
Mr. Anderson.
Second that?
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I did public hearing. Please vote. Now you got me doubting myself with this gavel. I'm sorry, Ms. Bybee, I didn't hear you.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Thanks, Danny. All right, we're moving on to comments from the public. Madam Clerk, do you have any public comment?
We did not receive any additional public comments.
Anyone in the public wishing to speak at this time? Mr. Bill, you're good? After? Okay, with that, announcements from the mayor, city council, city manager. Mr. Manager, you have anything?
Yes, I do, Mr. Mayor. I just want to recognize our I-team, city clerk, and payroll team for the great work with the recent CrowdStrike event. They worked tirelessly overnight, minimized the impact to all of us and the community, and I just want to give them a big thanks. They did a fantastic job.
Thank you. And then from me, Ms. Bybee, I want to send you my condolences personally for the passing of your father. And I know the people in the city of Sparks would like to do the same. So our condolences to your loss, and thank you for taking this day to do a little work in your time of grief.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. With that, we're on to my favorite subject. We're adjourned. Now we have redevelopment. Who's?
No, sir.
Okay. You need a minute.
Hey, Charlene, who's the vice chair? So Donald's gonna run the meeting for you, Charlene.
Charlene.
Yeah.
I'm taking a call roll and include the members that will have.
That'd be a lot easier, her to do by phone.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect, thank you.
Of course. 47 seconds?
No, minutes.
40 minutes.
Okay, well then get busy. You need a gavel?
Sure.
Call me when you're done.
Yeah.
I think every item is a
You're new, it's okay. You guys are all in RDA?
I was avoiding.
Are they ready?
We will call to order on Monday, July 22nd, Sparks Redevelopment Agency meeting with a roll call.
Vice Chair Abbott,
Here.
agency members Bybee,
Charlene, roll call?
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, there's a lot of background noise
Yep.
here.
Lawson,
Here.
Vanderwell is absent, Anderson,
Here.
Dare,
Here.
Chief Legal Officer Duncan,
Here.
Chief Administrative Officer Louthen.
Here.
We have a quorum, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Do we have any public comment? I don't see any. We'll move on to item 4.1. Looking for approval of the agenda. Mr. Anderson,
Move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Mr. Dare.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please vote.
Aye.
Looks like passes 5 with all members present. Unless ever Vanderbilt's not here. Item 5.1, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the minutes of the Sparks Redevelopment Agency meeting for June 24th, 2024. Looking for a motion or any questions? Mr. Dare?
I move to approve the minutes of the Sparks Redevelopment Agency meeting for June 24th, 2024.
Mr. Lawson?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Aye.
Looks like motion passes. Item 6.1, consideration and possible acceptance of the report of the claims and bills approved for payment and appropriation transfers for the period of June 11th, 2024 through July 9th, 2024. Looking for a motion or any questions? Mr. Dare?
I was a little slow on the uptake there. But I move to accept the report of claims and bills and the appropriation transfers for the period of June 11th, 2024 through July 9th, 2024.
Mr. Anderson?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Item 8.1, comments from the public. I don't see any jumping with joy here. We'll close item 8.1. Go to 8.2, announcements from the agency and chief administrative officer.
No announcements, thank you.
Thank you, sir. We will go to item 9, adjournment. Have a great Monday.
Thank you. Send that gavel back.